What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are in the 2025 Kia Telluride here again. Just ran some errands here at Walmart. On my way to my next spot to run some more errands. But in the last video, I was talking to you guys about the Carvana buying process and why I was okay with buying a vehicle with my wife from Carvana. The situation with this specific vehicle. Talking about what you guys should be doing and looking for when you're purchasing a new vehicle, and also the biggest thing, how to get some money off of the out the door price when you guys are going to purchase vehicles, even before you go into the dealership, which the most important thing is to get that out the door price before you go into the dealership. So hone in, lock down which vehicle you're really going to be looking at and interested in, then get the out the door price. And then after that, then go into the dealership in person. So make sure you get in an email form or something in writing that says and gives you that out the door price listed in correct form. So basically an itemized form of what everything is costing for that vehicle. And the most important part with that is getting off those things that I listed in that video of what you should not be paying for when you're purchasing a used vehicle. Because there are some fees that dealerships like to put on vehicle purchase prices that they should not be putting on there. But for people that don't know, that's how they get those people to pay those fees for used and new vehicles. So those things in that video that I posted there are things that you guys should not and do not have to pay when you're purchasing a new or used vehicle. Those are just scam fees. You can get those off and then get your final out the door price. But again, I also stated in that video of you can be a tire kicker a little bit. You are spending your money with them, and they're the ones getting your business to make the sale and getting your money, and you're getting the vehicle in return. So if you've got problems with the used vehicle, whether it be a bunch of dents and scratches in the paint, mismatched tires, bald tires, other things that I explained in that video, you got negotiating power there. So make sure you guys understand and watch that video and leave some questions in the comment section of that video and this video if you guys have any, especially my younger crowd watching this videos or watching any of my videos for that matter. But on to this video here. Again, thanks for clicking on the channel. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's free to do and I'd greatly appreciate it. I'm Moto AK47. This is our newest ride here on our channel. Again, the 2025 Kia Telluride, traded in our 2019 CRV with 70,000 miles on it for this vehicle here. So let's get rolling here, giving you guys another POV type drive here while I'm on the way to my next destination for errand running here on this Easter Sunday. So happy Easter to you guys if you celebrate it. In this video, we are just driving, talking about how this vehicle drives so far. I've already done what I've told you guys in the previous video of my first initial walk around, test drive, etc. there. So now we are just driving, continuing on, seeing how it feels, if it's still braking properly, if we're coming up on any unusual engine noise, anything for that matter, anything that's not supposed to happen is happening. But again, knock on wood, cross our fingers, we are absolutely okay with this vehicle. Again, purchased it with under 40,000 miles here, which I talked about in that previous video of when you're getting to that upper kind of low mileage area to where you're now looking at a half used, half lifespan vehicle. Because you guys should know now, and this is becoming more present, that gas price is low right there. I might stop over there and get some gas. It's been $4 over here the past month. So I'm gonna stop here and get some gas and talk to you guys, show you a little bit of the outside of the car too. But what was I saying here? You guys should now know that vehicles are just big rolling computers now, and that they are getting more and more and more expensive to purchase, maintain, everything. Everything is just getting more and more expensive. So when you're spending your hard-earned money, to buy new or used, which a lot of people, of course, I pull to the one that's out of service. We're spending our hard-earned money here, and you should be able to negotiate. You should be able to do what it is you need to do to purchase your vehicle the way you need to purchase it, whether it be private seller, a dealership, used car lot, whatever floats your boat and what you want to do with your money. Now, people like me will steer you in a proper, correct direction, but at the end of the day, it's your choice. Again, your money. So I'm hop out and get some gas here. First time getting gas in the 2025 Kia Telluride here. Got my wallet in my pocket, keys in my pocket. Does this have a push button? It does not. So I think it's outside here. Is it? Yep. Push button on the outside for a Kia Telluride. All right, guys, getting gas here for the first time in the 2025 Kia Telluride. This is for all my teenage drivers that are getting their first vehicles and driving for the first time. You guys that don't know how to get gas, here's how you get gas. You put your information in, you wait for the prompts, you lift the nozzle, which is this right here. Then you put in the proper gas. So make sure you read on the inside of your door, and sometimes it's actually on your cap or on the inner cap of your gas tank, to make sure what you're putting in the proper grade of gas inside the vehicle. Especially if it's your parents' car, they should have already told you, but if they didn't, don't be putting the wrong fuel in your parents' car. Don't be putting diesel in a gasoline car. That's been a big mistake that a lot of teenagers just tend to make. So here, ours takes 87, this 2025 Kia Telluride. So we got that going here. Now, gas cap here. Some of the newer cars are capless, but this vehicle has a cap on it, which is this right here. Turn it to the left to get it off. Keep twisting. Now, don't just let this dangle right here. You're going to scratch up your paint right here, and if it's your parents' car, your parents are going to get mad at you. So take this cap. All vehicles have a holder. Put the cap in the holder, okay, just like that. That is what that's for. Those two prongs, 1, 2, that's what that's for. Put that cap there. It's out of the way. Now you can start pumping your gas. Put it in there. Now, the biggest tip of all, how you get the most gas in your vehicle without a bunch of foam. So think if like you shouldn't be drinking a beer yet and driving, but hold on for this truck to go by. All right, had to wait for that truck to go by, so I already started pumping my gas before it timed out. But when you're pumping your gas, all right, put it to the first notch so that it goes in slowly. Don't full trigger it. When you full trigger it, it creates a lot of foam and you get less gas in your gas tanks. So do your own research on this, but trust me, I know what I'm talking about here with this. Put it at the first notch if you don't want to hold it, or if you want to hold it, just hold it there at that first notch. Don't fully squeeze the trigger. Again, you're going to get more foam. So if some of you teenagers that are going to be drinking at some point in your later life, you'll understand how a beer gets poured and it creates that foam. Same concept here with gasoline. The slower you pour it, the less foam. So when you filled up, or if you're going to a specific dollar amount, once you get done, you'll take the nozzle out, make sure it's done fueling, tap the end of it on the actual gas insert there to get some of the gas drips off so it doesn't drip onto your paint, and then you hang it up, get your receipt if you want a receipt, and then you get back on in your car and be on your merry way. So talking about the rest of the outside of the car here, I'm not sure actually yet what specific blue this Kia Telluride is, so I'll have to look that up for you guys in a couple days and give you guys the proper color for this vehicle. But it does look nice. As you guys saw in the reveal video, my wife wore her blue because she knew she was getting that car that day, or this car on that day, excuse me. So looks real nice. I like it. You got the keyless entry there. I actually like the stock rims that are on this. Coming around to the front here, it's got LEDs in the mirrors there, LEDs up front. It's not a bad looking car. I'm not a real big Kia fan myself, especially around a couple years ago, the time that all of them, or a lot of them, were getting stolen, specific models of them, because they were easy to steal. But now I actually did my research on it, and Kia has put a fix to all of that stuff on how their vehicles were getting stolen. So that has been fixed, especially for the 2025 models here. But we're done getting gas here, $43 there. So again, tap, tap, tap. For you teenagers that don't know how to get gas yet, put your gas cap back. Make sure you click 1 or 2 times, however many it says. Push that back. You're done. You want a receipt? If you don't want a receipt, press no. And you're on your merry way. Getting back in here. All right, we are back inside our 2025 Kia Telluride from getting gas there at about $43. Filled us up. We were at about 100 miles there left in the gas tank. All right, so back to talking about this vehicle and how it's driving, how it's riding, etc., etc., etc. So for all you teenagers out there that were just watching that part of the video, again, make sure you put your seatbelt back on, safety first. A lot of new vehicles now are gonna beep at you. And watch out for this stuff too. Give a honk, give a honk, give a honk. Still going. Old people. So this is what you have to watch out for, teenage drivers. Also, when you're going through parking lots, people like that you continue to honk, and they just keep coming. That is when it gives you your cue to just stop and let them go on and do their thing. Especially if you're driving in your car, your friend's car, your parents' car. You don't want any accidents on your insurance, because that's going to raise your rate, and your parents won't be happy with you, because most likely they're the ones paying your insurance and your bills and your gas and stuff like that, etc. if you don't have a job. But for me, my kids will have a job, because they'll be working for their dad, me. And they'll be getting their gas money that way. I'm already saving for their first car. They just don't obviously know that yet, and they will be working to get money so that they can save on their own, but also money from dad and mom as well. And again, remember, turn this crap off. I made a video about this too, the previous video. Auto stop start. If you're in your parents' car, they'll thank you as well. Make sure you keep that auto stop start turned off so you don't burn through your starter. In some situations, you'll have to do what I just did right there. Ease yourself out when it's safe to. All right, so again, going on here as this thing is driving. It's driving pretty nice. I like the ride. My wife noticed right away that it drives a lot quieter than her CRV did. She's not hearing a lot of road noise and a lot of engine noise or anything like that. Not that the CRV was extremely loud or anything like that. It still was a compact car, still was a nice car, but she noticed this one is just a smoother, more Cadillac type ride. If you're old school or an older person watching my channel right now in this video, you know exactly what I mean by a Cadillac smooth ride. You guys know what Cadillac is. For my younger crowd, understand that Cadillac, especially back in the day. So for you younger guys out there, the Cadillac back in the day especially was known for its smooth ride capabilities. Mag ride, airbag ride, that type of feel, to where it's just as you're driving, going over potholes, especially here in Cleveland, Ohio, pothole galore, craters, but especially going over bumps and stuff like that and potholes is just a lot more smoother of a ride, to where it's not throwing you all around when you go over a bump. It's just a nice smooth ride over it. Your suspension goes up and down. It just feels really good to drive a vehicle like that, and my wife is explaining to me that that's how she feels in this car, which is great and nice. So other than that, guys, probably going to end this video here as we're riding. It's steering fine, accelerating good. It doesn't have a huge amount of power, but my wife also did say this as well, that it gets up and goes a little bit more than what her CRV did. So I'll get into the actual engine size and horsepower in one of the next videos that I make for you guys about this vehicle, especially going going over some of the more features about it and the engine type, horsepower, etc., all that, because we're going to start getting into fluid checks and changes, stuff like that. So thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's free to do, and I greatly appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.